All right, last night in the opening slate of round two games in the U.S. Open Cup, Columbus Crew 3-0 win over Lexington. Tormenta, South Georgia Tormenta 3-2 over Foro SC. Charlotte Independence get a 2-1 win over Carolina Core FC. Inter Miami fell to local rivals.
Inter Miami two. Let's be specific
What did I
because
say?
that is you said Inter Miami, but you got to add the two because
The
that's not
dose. The
that's
dose.
obviously not Busquets and Suarez and Messi and Alba. It's none of those guys. It's
That would
all
be a
the
heck of a
second.
scalp for Miami FC, but not true. To your point, good correction. Inter Miami CF 2
Yes,
nil.
yes.
Miami FC 1. All right, there you go. Monterey
There you
Bay
go.
fell at home 2-1 to El Farolito
Let's pause
SC.
there. Let's
All
pause
right,
there for a
hit
second.
it.
El Farolito is one of the darlings of the cup for a lot of people. They are a team that is attached to this taco restaurant, this burrito restaurant in San Francisco. I'm headed out there at the end of the month for a bit of vacation, and I'm wondering if I can convince my wife just to go to this place so I can take a photo
Farolito.
and be like, I went to El Farolito and I'm here, and but they obviously are a bit of a story and they can play. I mean, this wasn't a smash and grab situation for El Farolito. They actually did take down a professional side in Monterey Bay and did it in Monterey, just down the road from the Bay Area. So I think that one is something we can celebrate in terms of this is again Cinderella stories, still dancing. I mean, if we're going to just steal from March Madness, we just should. Can I say that? I keep hearing March Mania because people don't want to get in trouble. Am I allowed to say? Anyway, people don't. If we're
Spring
just going to
Bonanza.
borrow from the NCAA men's basketball tournament or women's basketball tournament for that matter, then we should maybe just say they're still dancing, survive in advance. That's what El Farolito has done.
You're making me hungry just thinking about it. Get something to eat and then see a wonderful action there. And then the last tilt from Tuesday night, AV Alta 2, Los Angeles FC 2 1. So AV Alta getting the win over the second team for Los Angeles FC, but probably kind of bigger slate tonight. Lots of local
Yeah.
derbies in the cup tonight. And in the aforementioned Portland Hearts of Pine are actually taking on Hartford Athletic at 6:30 as part of that. And close to your neck of the woods, Loudoun United taking on Virginia Dream. Will they be dreaming after tonight, Jason?
Yeah, that's a good question. Loudoun United, a USL Championship team, and obviously Virginia Dream is a UPSL team. I mean, I imagine among other things locally, that team, Virginia Dream, based maybe 3 or 4 miles from where I'm sitting right now, have not yet seen that. And obviously going out to Loudoun, which people who don't know Northern Virginia, Loudoun is in Northern Virginia. But where they play is a bit of a hike. I actually did live out there near Leesburg, Virginia. It's very beautiful. They have lots of horses and wineries, and they have the soccer stadium, Segra Field, which is where Loudoun United plays. I don't think I'm going to make it, but I'm rooting for Virginia Dream. I want to see the upset. Obviously, I have to be I have to support local, Rob, like you do with Oakland County.
You're a dreamer, Jason. You're a dreamer. Other matchups tonight. We're going to talk about this in greater detail later in the show, but one that Open Cup and lower league fans are going to be tuning into: Chattanooga FC taking on the Chattanooga Red Wolves tonight.
Yes.
A contentious matchup, to say the least.
Let me throw this in here. This was our first comment today. This is, I'm going to the Chattanooga Derby tonight. I picked the red side of town because it's closer to my house. I only moved here recently, so I didn't know the history, rather. Feels like a proper grudge match. And we'll dive into a little bit of the history and tell you, like, yes, why it's a proper grudge match, what one side represents for some people versus what the other side represents for some people. And I don't want to get into judgment on who you support in Chattanooga means something like, I don't want to do a value judgment. You're better if you support this team than if you support the other. But I do think that it's sort of in microcosm, the Chattanooga Derby it's American soccer, especially lower division American soccer in a lot of ways.
It sure is. Another matchup tonight: Greenville Triumph SC taking on one Knoxville, and in the next matchup. One of these names is kind of a name that harkens back when you see old historical soccer from like the 1920s in the ASL. Is Westchester SC taking on the New York Pan Cyprian Freedoms? And
Yeah.
that's a throwback name right there.
Yeah, that's like when when the Philadelphia German Hungarians were winning the Open Cup, stuff like that. Maccabi LA or whatever it was winning the Open Cup. It does feel like that. It feels like, back when the only people who took the sport seriously were these sort of ethnically centered men's clubs who put teams out, and not always were those players like
or factories.
totally German or Hungarian. I mean, it wasn't like that, but they were attached to these sort of civic societies that existed, and that's that, not just the team names, but sort of like those, and some of those groups still exist. Some of those organizations are still around, but there was a time in America when your life was your family, your church, and your civic society or whatever. And, we still have moose lodges and things like that, but they're not nearly as prevalent as they were back in those days.
You ever dreamed of being a moose one day?
Only when I watched the Flintstones. What were the group they were in? I can't remember. They were in a group.
That's
They were
something.
Barney,
That's something
yeah.
for the chat, I think. There. What
Barney
was
and Fred.
what was the Flintstones social group called?
Yeah, they had a men's social club, and I can't remember what it was. I don't know.
The Rock Bangers.
I'm not. I can't join, but I've been to a VFW. Those places are very interesting. They're very fun. Was it the Water Buffaloes? Shout out to Nicholas Murray. Was it the Water? It might have been the Water Buffaloes. It might have been. In a time of dinosaurs, they were water buffaloes.
Fair play, fair play. I can't argue against it. Further matchups tonight in the second round of the U.S. Open Cup: FC Naples versus Little Rock Rangers. Ford Madison taking in on FC Tulsa. And one, some viewers will note, because they brought in some ringers, and I believe the Ringers are coming back for the second round. Des Moines Menace taking on Union Omaha. Not only a local rivalry, but enhanced with the likes of Darren McCarty and Sasha Kleshton and the like.
Okay, so you mistakenly said that Union Omaha was in Iowa, which it is not.
I'm curious.
No, I guess you did. I'm trying to figure out. So you're the Midwesterner. I mean, I know the Midwest is a very big place. It takes 2 hours to drive between Des Moines and Omaha. That's not terrible.
That's an American Derby, right?
It's a straight shot on I-80, apparently. I've never driven it myself, but you can get there from one place to the other in not that about the same time as it would take to watch the game, as a matter of fact. So there you go. 6 hours total. 2 hours there, watch the game. 2 hours back, 6 hours.
Totally doable. The I-80 road rage
straight across
derby.
the plains, straight across.
The plain derby.
Just nothing. Yeah, it's not nothing. Sorry, there's not nothing out there. And again, I have family from the Midwest, but it is the flat part of the country.
And straight too. I bet you could drive 99% of that without ever steering. You could probably drive straight, put the cruise control on, get from stadium to stadium.
You do have to. I-80 does kind of curve, and I don't know if there's an exit involved around. Looks like that is Yorkshire, Iowa, is where that is. Yorkshire. I don't know how they say it over there. So anyway,
I'm sure they say Yorkshire. I'm sure they say that out there.
Positive they do. Yeah, for sure. Down at the feed store, they say Yorkshire.
The feed store in Yorkshire. All right. Final two matchups tonight. The late night offerings in the Open Cup second round. Tacoma Defiance taking on Spokane Velocity, and Ventura County FC taking on El Paso Locomotive. And that is your rundown for the second round of the U.S. Open Cup 2025. Plenty of entertainment in store here in that competition this evening. If you haven't hit the subscribe button for Morning Kick Round, do so now, why don't you? And then tell your friend to be the next. The subscriber count is growing, and the show gets more and more fun with the more people contributing, adding comments, replying, and just participating in the American soccer conversation with us. And Morning Kick Around is a podcast now. So search up Morning Kick Around in your favorite podcast platform and take a listen there and take us on the go. There's also buttons on the Morning Kick Around YouTube channel where you can donate money. It's a button on there called Thanks, and you can select what payment amount you'd like to help support the show, help us become sustainable, and then maybe towards some growth of the show, make the show even bigger and more robust than it is now. We're trying to make this as big as we possibly can. Follow along on social media at MKickaround across social media platforms, including X, Instagram, and Blue Sky, or write us a note, morningkickaround@gmail.com. And one more thing, we have a coffee page, coffee.com/morningkickaround. There's bonus content there for anyone who donates, one-time coffee, or maybe something larger or regularly scheduled, coffee.com/morningkickaround.